just tested it? Okay.
All
All right,
set?
yep, we're all set.
All right, I'd like to call this special meeting to order on July 2nd, 2025 at 11:30 a.m. Discussion on possible action regarding village and town police contract, 1 year. Purpose of this contract is basically to continue to cover the village for basically 1 year, since the notice is coming due as of July 23rd. So everything that's been shared with anybody. I did notice a correction on the page 1 with the date. It should be June 30th, 2026 on the front page here,
What date? I'm sorry.
on the front page here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a term 1, section, section, term 1, it's on term, June 30th, 2026. Zeke brought me a couple other changes real quick that they had. Let me explain. All this is the same contract we've been using for 10 years. It takes in the addendum that Heather gave to me, the SRO, and then the emergency services. And our attorney, a clean document. Most of the word, all the wordings, most of the words always compared the two together. So, back to Zeke's thing, number 3 on staffing. He mentioned under section C, non-staffing. To the extent of such officer to be off more than 5 full days a week, township or staffing do such time and building pursuant to the contracted amounts. He says that's not necessary. I'll let the board decide that.
Can you use your mic?
Oh, sorry. All right, and then the other thing, section C, the village board shall review circumstance under emergency situation not less than every 60 days. The provision should not be considered a permanent deviation from regular staffing levels. You mentioned that could be removed too. And that's the 2 items that he presented to me. Questions or comments, or I'm looking for a motion to approve this for the next year, so we can continue with the current staffing levels and keep things moving forward.
Can I see those 2 other sections?
Sure. Yeah, and we gotta fix the date.
So a couple questions.
Sure.
Because just trying to wrap my head around this for the first time, being new, I'm still trying to get a sense for where we're at with some of this stuff. One of the things that I don't get a sense for in here is the number of officers that are committed to or pledged to the village, or if that's a variable number. What should the expectations be regarding number of officers in the village?
It's the same first and second shift. If they take it off, we don't backfill. That's the original agreement. That was in the original contract. That's still stays
We used
true.
to backfill
It's my mistake, we didn't backfill when somebody took the off.
You didn't,
in the original one.
yeah, the original did require it, we didn't do it as a budget constraint.
Okay.
So essentially, we're just continuing with what we've had for the last.
Okay, but it wasn't in the contract, that's why I was just, okay.
Yeah, I took what you sent me the addendum, gave that to Tony. We had a meeting together, and I met with me and Adam and the attorney met together and went over the contract to keep everything the same.
So that was
Same
an
thing.
approval? Then, or was it in the?
It's in here now.
It wasn't in the, oh,
The way it was
okay.
covered under the last version of the contract was the chief had the authority to, or to not do this, it was somewhat discretionary, we gave guidance based on our budget, so it was a verbal thing.
Oh, okay, I was just. I didn't know.
Yeah, chief or officer in charge. Chief or officer in charge.
Okay, so maybe this is a nit question then, but I'm looking at section 4 here on ancillary duties. The section where it says, the village shall further support with its contracted police officer. Is that officers? Officers, okay, all right.
Let me highlight that here, because I gotta get these, what section?
It's right,
All right,
right there.
so we put that in there.
Okay. Then I guess my other question, and maybe this falls under ancillary duties, I don't know, but I'm thinking about things that are not traditional first shift or second shift or whatever, specific to the boat patrol on the waterway and the village town understanding or expectations with respect to boat patrol, funding for boat patrol. Should that be in here? I don't see anything like that in this.
No, this is the original agreement we had for 10 years with the modifications that were not put in place last year when we were short officers. That's a cover of the town duties and stuff like that. Same thing with the SRO. They're responsible for the SRR, same as has been. We're not changing like that. Eventually, when the two boards hopefully work together, the committees, then that stuff could be addressed.
Okay.
Tom, this is just a stopgap to get us to a point where we can actually dovetail something together.
Okay.
There is a draft contract that covers every bit of what you just described, that covers the SRO. Tim's got a copy of it, Andrew's got a copy of it, you all should get a copy of it.
Okay.
That was drafted.
But we don't like to share.
Done by that committee.
We don't like to share.
I
No,
disagree.
see, okay, so that helps. I appreciate that. And I want to be sensitive. I mean, I'm sensitive to the process that's unfolding here and kind of where things are at. So I appreciate learning where we're at with this and the intended purpose here.
One concerns discussed with Tim and Andrew is, we're buying ourselves some time, but we can't run this down to the wire.
Yeah.
Till June of next year.
Yeah.
This needs to be something that we have a contract that really is worked out in the next 90 to 180 days. And the board should move ahead with this. We've got the stopgap in place, so we have something documented. But I have some real concerns about total number of officers that are gonna be hired, existing union contract, how that's gonna be dealt with. Who's gonna be responsible for supervision or oversight of the department? Is it going to be a joint department? Like under state statute as a legal combined department, or we gonna continue to contract? There's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out from today.
But what I'm understanding is this is buying us time to be able to do that in a thoughtful, prudent
Yes,
way.
not rushing
And
into
and
working together,
appropriately.
yes.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Those are my questions.
One concern that I have is that I just found out about a half an hour ago that the town has shifts that are going unfilled. And so now we are renewing or re-engaging in a contract that would spread those officers out rather than ensuring that the town is filling all of its shifts.
Well, it's not my understanding when I met with Officer Mike May that we had any shifts unfilled right now.
You just said it in the office half an hour ago that third shift is not getting filled.
We agreed not to fill third shift several months ago and let the county do their job of patrolling third shift. Yes, we're not doing third shift. We haven't done third shift.
So that's what I'm saying is that third shift is unfilled, and rather than protecting our town with our dedicated police department.
Well, we are providing it and we're using the sheriff for their county taxes that we pay to cover third shift. We've been doing that for several months and
We've
we've
had
had no
that
issues.
discussion about the county car numerous times, and we all know where that goes. But the fact is that we have a town police department that we are paying a lot of money for that is not covering third shift.
And Zeke,
Robert, there's a provision in that contract that addresses your concern right now. I'm not gonna describe it as the wordsmithing that I would have done to address your specific concern. It's born out of a previous amendment that was proposed based on conversations you, I, President Houston, and Terry Nicolai had in her term as chairperson. So it allows the town chairman, president, myself, Andrew, or the chief to flexibly move those officers around. So they're not just dedicated to the village or to the town. I think the accounting on that gets tricky, to your point. That, if it's a Tuesday and we're short an officer because somebody's out sick, how do we handle the billing for that? Is that person's time gonna be split, right? Or we're literally gonna split the contract cost in half for that officer because they're covering both jurisdictions on that day? Or are we gonna assign that full cost to the village and the town gets a free ride? Or are we gonna assign that full cost that day to the town and the village gets a free ride? So there's a cost accounting component to this that needs to be addressed.
And to the point that you made several times, I think it's an absolutely fair one of how much policing is necessary.
Yeah.
I asked for that information after our joint meeting back in, I believe that was February. I'm still waiting for that information. I have not ghosted you. I have not been given that information.
So provided in the packets for the police exploratory committee. So all that information was put out to the public for, hey, here's no.
I'm asking for town information that
Oh,
I've
yeah,
requested.
yeah, the village's part's out there. I
Yes.
haven't seen y'all's.
Me neither.
Yeah. Robert, you do have police reports and that data can be compiled together.
I requested those back in February, so that I could go through them and compile it, and I'm still waiting.
All right, so I,
I have one question for you. Is the village ending its contract for third shift with the sheriff's department?
Right now, we're just gonna hold things. So this is not the process that I would have put forward. I would have recommended that we had the police exploratory committee review this contract, make recommendations back to both boards. To Tim's point in a conversation we had, the shot clock's running out. So I want to commend Tim for doing the job that he's done to get this to where it is so we can move this along. It is a stopgap. Dale, I think we get this to a point that we're sitting down and having a collaborative conversation with each other to address all the different points, including how are we gonna handle third shift? How are you guys gonna handle third shift? For now, we're just gonna leave it in play as it is. And hopefully Zeke's opinion would be, we should work aggressively over the next 90 days. It may take 180, no more than 180 to get the boards, to get the committee together to begin with. And then the boards together follow the committee recommendation on something. In part because I'm concerned that you may overhire based on concerns, and that it's not fair to the officers that we would have to terminate officers because we had put a good plan in place to begin with. I'm not sure how we're hiring a chief right now without a plan in place to begin with. So this is a good step.
Thank you.
all right, actually, we should have made a motion first and then the second, and then discussed it, but a little discussion beforehand here. So I'm gonna make a motion that we proceed with those changes recommended, and have those revised, and we will submit this for the village board to review and approve. And then we will put that in place. Yeah, I need that. So that is my motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
A motion second, calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you for that one. All right, number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the operations committee charter. This was started because people wanted clarification on what the operations committee would do. Tom, I'm thinking my father there. He put together a charter. It's been reviewed by several people, including the committee, Tina and Heather, myself. I shared it with the board about a month ago, handed out. I have not heard anything, any questions on moving forward with the operations committee charter. Looking for a motion to approve that charter.
I'll move to approve the chart.
I'll second that motion. Got a motion second, call for vote, all in favor?
Just a moment, please.
Sorry,
I would like to move to postpone this vote until the regular meeting of the town board, so that we have a better representation of the community that can be aware of this one and the next agenda item. Because I don't think that there is any time criticality to this, and I think that a better time to discuss this would be at our regular meeting.
okay, there was discussion. There's a motion second made. I'll call for a vote. Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that passes. Next one, discussion possible action regarding the ordinance committee. That was shared and drafted along with everybody. Operation, no, we did the operations, we're doing the ordinance one now. Okay. I'll make the motion to approve this ordinance one. Looking for a second, and then we'll have discussion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, calling for discussion on this one.
I move to postpone the vote on this until the regular monthly meeting, so that we have a better cross-section of the community here that can ask their questions and attend the discussion of these agenda items.
Supervisor Human, I'll duly note that. We have a motion second, calling for vote. All in favor of this charter?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a second? Made the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. All right, here, before you guys leave,
Thanks, everybody who's online. Have a great Fourth,
I
everyone.
don't wanna rush you, things.